What's up, Lou?
I thought I saw a putty tat. Join Tweety in this next farming simulator RPG.
Okay.
That's all I got.
No, tell me more. I want to know more about the Tweety Bird farming simulator.
Well, I think that you play as Tweety Bird and you have to maintain like a garden area.
Okay.
Like the back of a house, like a backyard, and so you have like your bird bath, and you start out with like a really shitty bird bath that's like falling apart.
Okay.
And then you have to befriend, Granny, and then like Sylvester will be like a random encounter event.
All right.
That you have to prepare for. Like, he can destroy things in your garden, or he could try and kill you, so you have to avoid him and other obstacles that might arise. Maybe we could get some of the other Looney Tunes characters to occasionally pop in.
I was gonna ask, would you form relationships with the local townsfolk in this?
Yeah, you would form. Yeah, it would form. You could like leave the garden area and go into town, and it would be like the classic Looney Tunes character. So you could buy like livestock from Foghorn, and maybe like Daffy sells like clothes. I feel like Daffy could be a good like fashion guy,
Okay.
In a town simulator kind of thing.
But what does the boxing kangaroo character do?
He helps you train to fight Sylvester.
Okay.
And you get like you get weapons from Wile E. You got me too in this. You get weapons from Wile E. Coyote. He's like the weapons guy. You show up to his shack and it's like half cobbled together, and he's got like a bunch of just like homemade weapons sitting around. So it's like, it's not like guns and stuff, because this is a game for kids.
No, I do like that this Tweety Bird farming game hypothetical also involves having to kill Sylvester.
Yeah, of course. And Sylvester has 9 lives, so it's okay. He'll just keep coming back.
Okay, what happens when that 9th one goes?
that's just and wait until you run out of his 9th life. You'll see what happens next. Coming soon, spring 2025.
Let's move on to the rest of our headlines. Anyway, welcome to Looney Duels, everyone. The number 1 Looney Tunes power level podcast.
That's what we do. We rate characters based on whether or not I guess they can kick ass. I don't know. I've lost the plot.
All right. Well, if you watched the last show, you might know we're kind of in the Tweety Bird era.
Yeah.
And right off the bat, let's get straight into it. Well, this is Home Tweet Home.
Yeah, name makes no sense.
It is a short about Tweety Bird in the park, and stuff happens. It's really exciting.
I want to talk about the setting of this one.
Okay.
It's a public park, right? So it's very odd that Sylvester is there to me. It's not so odd that there's like a little birdie, but why is there just like a cat walking around with no owner in sight? I feel like when you look at like a stray cat, they usually, tend to hide, in the tree lines or the bushes or in like in alleyways and stuff. They don't really go out into like the most open space possible get their food.
I think Sylvester kind of exists as an in-between. I think he's both like a house pet and like a citizen of the United States, right?
Yeah, he's not necessarily like feral, but he is also just kind of like walking on all fours in this one.
Right, like he has to pay taxes, but he can allowed to go to the park and eat little birds if he wants to, because he is still also a cat.
Yeah, he won't be charged with murder if he killed Tweety Bird.
Yeah, he's in the clear for that. They got that all sorted out.
I want to say some, mean things about Tweety Bird as usual.
Okay.
But I do want to. This is the thing that I think is important as like a stat. I'm gonna remain neutral about this opinion because it's a good strategy. Tweety Bird very often seems to hide behind other people like bigger and stronger than him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's a mom in this short who's just sitting on the park bench with her baby. Put a pin in that baby. We got to talk about that baby. And at some point, Tweety kind of almost enlists in her help. He goes up to her and starts like making like he's like Courage the Cowardly Dog, like like pointing over where Sylvester is, and he doesn't speak to her, but he does like kind of do a little Simon Says there, little charades, I should say, and she gets the picture that a cat is trying to attack this little bird. I'm going to like protect this little bird for some reason, so she beats the shit out of Sylvester for him. And I guess that's just like the prime directive of Tweety Bird if he sees Sylvester coming.
Right.
He just kind of hides behind somebody.
I think the big thing to take from that is I think Tweety's like Daffy or Chicken Hawk matchup would be really bad, because if Tweety Bird hid behind this woman and Daffy was there, Daffy would just fuck with the old woman too, And if Henry Chickenhawk was there too, he would just slam the woman against the ground and still continue to go after Tweety Bird.
So do you think Tweety Bird can communicate with humans with words?
I think so, but I think part of the act is he needs to be like cutesy. So I think if he acts like he can't speak, it's better for him because he can be like, "Oh, I'm a little baby boy."
Yeah. Because as we established, Tweety Bird's like baby status is under question, under review right now. He could be a grown adult bird.
He could be like 48 for all we know.
Right. So you think that he kind of puts on this helpless act so that others will step up for him.
Right. Yes. Speaking of the muteness, I want to talk a bit about the fact Sylvester doesn't really speak in these shorts, and it makes me really uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think out of the few like Tweety Bird and Sylvester shorts we've seen so far, Sylvester's real quiet.
But he can speak because he goes like "goo goo wow wow, I want my mommy" at some point, like with his like usual voice. But there's like a point where like Tweety like is on his head like asking him questions, and instead of be like yeah, he like just shakes his head and like, "Sylvester, speak up, please."
So use your words. Like it just feels like an unfair fight. Like Tweety seems like an intelligent creature who can think and speak, and Sylvester's just kind of like a dumb cat who just like doesn't understand really what's going on.
Well, despite his dumb cat nature, folks, I got some great news. This was huge for me. Sylvester the cat, add this to his kit, has an ooey gooey bubblegum move, and this is huge. Sylvester has bubblegum powers. You can blow a gumball to recover and float up. It's huge.
It's gonna be his up B special, and when it gets added to Smash Brothers, he's gonna chew a big thing of bubblegum and go up and down.
Yeah, of course.
I do also want to mention again Sylvester's willingness to harm humans, as he does kidnap this lady's baby.
He does,
and dresses up as the baby to get closer to Tweety, and we never see the baby again.
That's right. We do never see the baby again. Sylvester could have done anything to that baby. We'll never know.
Right, like he just kind of like slides it out of frame and then slides himself back in frame, and that's the last you see.
He could have put that baby in a basket to go down like a river.
He could have Mosesed him in a basket. So that's something to look out for. Sylvester is very one-track minded. I don't think he fears much. Like, there's a dog in this short that Tweety hides behind, and Sylvester's, like, hesitant about the dog, but he's also not, like, shaking in his boots about it, you know?
Sylvester's game plan compared to, like, you know, Wile E. Coyote, like, for all his faults, clearly, like, thinks things out as much as he can. Like, he has, like, plans and schemes. Sylvester plans tend to be just brute forcing things as much as he can, right? Like, throwing himself in. But he also has the flaw that he likes to savor the moment. There's a part at the start here where he has his mouth open, Tweety Bird's distracted, and he keeps his mouth open for like 5 seconds, letting it like all sink in. And then Tweety just fucking owns him immediately afterwards because he waits too goddamn long.
Yeah, I think Sylvester maybe freezes up in the moment of the kill. Maybe that's his problem. Like, if he could just get over that, like, hurdle, he could have the element of surprise multiple times on Tweety Bird. Tweety Bird's not that, like, careful.
If Tweety Bird was up against any other Looney Tunes character, he'd be fucked. He's lucky that Sylvester's so stupid.
So, obviously, this is a win for Tweety, but do you want to talk about the ominous line Tweety says at the end of the short?
This is the second short in a row we watched with this little freak, where at the end it's vaguely implied Tweety Bird has done this to multiple cats and killed them in the process.
Yeah, he says, he calls the pet store or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I need another cat, you know, because I guess Sylvester dies at the end of this one. And does Tweety just do this for shits and giggles? This is a game to him?
I think there's a new layer to Tweety Bird as a character now. He clearly lives for the thrill of the hunt, I think. I think the innocent act is like just a game. Like he loves murder and killing and like watching cats die for his own amusement.
That's so fucked up. Tweety Bird, you're fucked up.
Yeah, he's awful. You know, all the other Looney Tunes like villain characters like Yosemite Sam and Elmer, they're having fun with it. Tweety Bird is just making it into like a serious thing, like to kill people. He's like sucking out the fun out of the room, like, come the fuck on.
Like, if Elmer managed to kill Bugs Bunny, I can't see him going out and buying another Bugs Bunny to kill again. I just can't see
If
it.
Elmer killed Bugs Bunny, he'd cry for 8 hours.
It would feel like such an ugly cry, too. He would be, like, crying and, like, gagging.
There's, like, snot coming out everywhere.
Well, sorry, Sylvester. Still no win for you, I guess. Well, I guess in that one Elmer short he had one, but no win against Tweety, and I suspect that's never going to change.
You ready to talk about our next Roadrunner and Coyote short?
Yes. What is the clever title this short has been given?
This one is Beep Beep.
Incredible.
And this short's huge, actually, because it ties into Space Jam.
Oh, yeah. The short that's playing in Space Jam when, like, Michael Jordan's kids are watching TV and, like, Porky Pig runs in and he's like, stop the cartoon, like, we gotta go. It's literally the short.
Yeah, I'm really proud of us for noticing that.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's from Space Jam. I guess it helps that we, like, just watched Space Jam, but I thought it looked familiar. So this is, it's a Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner short. What do you want me to say about the premise?
I think one of the big things we learned here is very consistent, is that Wile E. Coyote, he kind of forgets, like, he thinks of a very elaborate plans, but he doesn't really learn from his mistakes, right? Because there's a point in the short earlier where Roadrunner declares that he can't read.
Yeah, he holds up a little sign that says Roadrunners can't read.
And one of his final plans in this is to set up a train track and then, like, hold a stop sign, and the Roadrunner just runs over him.
Yeah, and he, like, sets up this... Here's the thing, Wile E. Coyote has these, like, blueprints, and the frame will just, like, stick on him for a really long time, so you can understand the fine mechanisms of everything he does. Like, he is sitting here, he's probably got, like, a file cabinet behind a cactus somewhere where he keeps all these little plans. He has the most... It's like a box with, like, a TNT thing in it, and a match, and, like, a string trigger that's attached to a glass of water that's sitting on top, and he's like, surely the Roadrunner will stop and grab the glass of water, thus triggering the match that will set off the explosion. And it's like, he's not gonna fucking do that, dude.
Roadrunner, Coyote thinks all these things so deeply. He stews for hours and hours, marking up plans, thinking of ideas, and then he just does not consider the fact that this Roadrunner is just a stupid bird who is going to keep running and making noises and not just go into all these schemes with him.
Yeah, honestly, people, there might be something worth, like, kind of talking about. How much does the Roadrunner actually know, and how much is just, like, he's just instinctually, like, he's a bird. He doesn't really care. He's just running around. Is he aware that he's torturing Wile E. Coyote?
I think in my mind, Roadrunner doesn't mean any ill will. I think he thinks they're playing a game, but not in a dangerous sense. I think Roadrunner perceives this all as, like, a fun game of tag, and that's what it's supposed to be. He doesn't know, Wiley is supposed to be murdering him.
So you think it's more like when at the end of the short, he, like, kind of, he's, like, laying down and, like, giving Wile E. Coyote a little wave goodbye, like, all playfully. You think, like, he likes to win the game of tag, but he doesn't realize that if he loses, he's going to be cooked into a stew or something.
Yeah, I think unlike Tweety Bird, where he revels in, like, killing Sylvester, I think Roadrunner just thinks it's a silly game. I think Roadrunner is stupid.
He might be a little bit.
He might be a bit of a bimbo, to be frank.
Just a little. That's a good angle for him, a bimbo. I also wanted to note this on his charts. If we, everyone get out your Roadrunner charts. There's, like, a shot at the beginning where they just, like, animate them going in slow motion, and I realized Roadrunner's wings are very short and small, and he doesn't have, like, hands of any kind, so he can't hold things easily. Right? Like, if you gave him something to hold, he'd probably hold it with his, like, foot.
That's what he does, yeah. He holds the side with his foot in this short.
So, you could really nerf him that way if you gave him something to hold that, like, would, and have inhibit him from running, right?
Right.
So I think Wile E. Coyote he needs to find the thing or like glue something to his foot, right? So that he has to hold it up or something.
Yeah, all he has to do is like hand him like us like something he wants, like I don't know, like a bag of Wendy's or something, and then like Roadrunner is then trapped. He has to be holding that bag of Wendy's. He can't do anything else now.
Yeah, and you can't run on one foot. I imagine he could hop very fast, but nowhere near the speed he'd need to outrun Wile E. Coyote, which, I mean, credit where credit's due. Wile E. Coyote can run kind of fast, too.
He's no slouch.
No, and it's considering how bony and, like, what's the word I'm looking for? How emaciated he is, you know? It's kind of impressive that he's able to kind of keep up the steam, running after Roadrunner. But, of course, he does die again, so...
Yeah.
And we also get some kind of insight into his faith status.
Oh, yeah. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
As Wile E. Coyote is falling to his doom, he takes some pain pills, maybe hoping it will, help the fall. And then when realizing how far down he's going, he starts praying. So I think he does fear coming face to face with God and answering for maybe some potential sins. He wanted to get that out of the way before he maybe went to the pearly white gates, which I think he could make it to heaven.
Yeah, here's the thing. I don't think Roadrunner, Wile E. Coyote, I think Wile E. Coyote, in the realm of like the Looney Tunes character that is trying to catch the animal characters, like, Elmer or Yosemite or like Sylvester, I think Roadrunner is not, I keep calling him Roadrunner, Wile E. is not a villain. I think he's just an animal, a creature trying to survive. I think he's not a villain. I think if you made Looney Tunes like Heroes versus Villains mobile app video game, I think Wile E. Coyote would not be on the villains team. I'm just gonna say it.
No, I agree, because if you think about Sylvester, as much as I, begrudgingly like the guy, he doesn't need to be chasing after Tweety Bird. There's lots of other options for
Right.
Sylvester. There's no reason why he needs to eat the smallest bird on the planet to get a good meal. He could get some fish. He could, get some actual cat food. There's just no excuse there. Whereas Wile E. Coyote, I'm convinced there's only there's Roadrunner and there's Wile E. Coyote, and they're the only two motherfuckers in that desert, and animals gotta eat.
Yeah. He has access to water, though. We learned that.
Yes, with the glass of water. He does have access to it. That's probably how he's surviving. That and, like, cactus juice or something.
He's just
Do you
eating.
think he eats bugs?
I think he just eats. Well, he does not eat Bugs Bunny. He loses that guy multiple times, but he might eat bugs on the ground.
Yeah, that's what... Yeah, he picks him up, like, Lion King style. Grabs a big grub and, like, swishes the juice in his mouth. Oh, that sounds so delicious.
All right,
bug now.
Everyone, write that down in your notes. Lou, my dear co-host, loves to eat bugs.
So yeah, Roadrunner won. So no surprise.
Yeah, no surprise there. Hey. You ready to talk about your favorite little man?
The Leghorn blows at midnight. Aw, yeah. we got a foghorn, Henry, and barnyard dog. This is a very interesting short to me. I think it reveals something very important about our previous kind of ideas about Henry.
Yeah.
So in this, it's really funny because, it starts out, pretty much all these, like, at the barn shorts, I'm gonna call them, revolve around Foghorn and Barnyard Dog, just, like, beating the shit out of each other one after the other in, like, a never-ending cycle. Like, one of them will antagonize the other, and then the other one wants to get immediate revenge, and then it just kind of goes back and forth until, like, some other third party is introduced and kind of, like, aggravates it even more.
Right.
But with Henry, usually we get kind of, like, a scene of him, like, deciding to go to the barn or talking to a family member. He just kind of shows up.
Right.
In this one, he walks in.
Yeah, he literally, like, there's no setup for this whatsoever. He just shows up.
He shows up to the barn. He tries to get, I think he goes for Foghorn first. Or I can't even remember. But at some point, this is the important part. At some point, Foghorn Leghorn, doesn't doesn't decline that he's a chicken. He actually, starts to put on an act. He's like, "Oh, don't eat me. I'm too tough anyway. I'm scared of the dark. I don't want to go in the oven." To which Henry goes, "Well, I can put you on the top of the oven if you want." And then he tricks Henry into not wanting a chicken. Not that something else is a chicken. He says, "No, you don't want chicken. You want a pheasant." And he starts going on about how delicious a pheasant is going to be. So what does this mean? Does this mean that you can trick Henry into wanting something other than a chicken? You don't have to lie to him?
Yeah, I think the thing about Henry Chickenhawk is that he's really easy to manipulate. He tends to win these shorts less on his own virtue and more the fact that everyone around him is an idiot. Because otherwise, he's incredibly easy to manipulate. If Henry Chickenhawk was coming up to try to eat me, he's like, "I want to eat human." I'm like, "Oh no, you want to eat fucking crocodiles, Henry. The crocodiles in the lake. Go eat them, Henry." And he'd go do it.
Yeah, he would. He would really not fight back too much because he's young is the thing we always forget. He's kind of a baby.
Yeah.
He's a baby Chickenhawk. He's small. He's incredibly strong and powerful, but he's manipulative. Not manipulative. He's easily manipulated into changing his target, I guess.
So I think in the past we kind of maybe hyped up Henry Chickenhawk as like this huge threat in like the Looney Tunes battlefield. I think if Henry Chickenhawk went up against Bugs Bunny, it'd be over pretty easily.
You think so?
Yeah, because Bugs Bunny would manipulate him so fucking easy. Like if Henry's like, "I want to eat a bunny," he's like, "Oh no, Mac, you want to eat Elmas."
Well, if it was a big battle royale with everybody on the field, what if Bugs Bunny kind of used Henry to his advantage? What if there was nobody left for him to point to?
You just hit him. You just kick him.
But Henry's really strong.
Yeah, so is Bugs Bunny.
But Henry can lift Foghorn Leghorn with one hand. Foghorn Leghorn is the most big chicken in the world.
Okay, here's what they would do. Bugs would make Henry Chickenhawk go up against someone he knows he wouldn't be able to defeat, but that he would be able to. It'd be like, "Oh, Mac, you want to eat some gossamer?" And then gossamer would step on Henry Chickenhawk, killing him, and then Bugs Bunny would take down gossamer.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Another thing I want to mention here is about Barnyard Dog, because I like Barnyard Dog. He's one of my favorite Looney Tunes dogs. I like how he sounds. I think I love how fucking pissed and angry he gets at Foghorn all the time.
Mm.
So always the reoccurring gag with him is that he'll run after Foghorn on his little leash, and then he forgets how short it is and kind of chokes himself. And in the short, he has Henry unhook his collar from his lead, implying that he cannot unhook himself. So if he wants to get out of that situation, he has to have the farmer come over and unhook him.
Right. So the Looney Tunes battle royale we just described, do you think he'd be hooked by default?
I think we'd have to, because that's his base state.
Barnyard Dog is dying immediately in this battle royale. Because for him to get unhooked, he would need someone to like him, and I don't think we've met a friend of Barnyard Dog yet.
No, not really. Maybe Porky.
I guess.
Maybe Porky would unleash him, go dog, go my dog, go get him. But Barnyard Dog's default state is to be hooked, tethered to his doghouse. So it's a pretty big handicap for him, honestly.
Right. I want to talk about something interesting I found in this short. I think in another world where Henry Chickenhawk was Henry Piggy Hawk and he ate pigs, I think he and Foghorn Leghorn would be the best of friends.
Really?
I think there's a point in this short where they're just talking and having a good time. And I was thinking, it's a shame, nature sets these two people apart. Because
he could be a real father figure to Henry Chickenhawk. Well, yeah, he kind of he's trying to get him to, mess with Barnyard Dog, saying Barnyard Dog's a pheasant. And there's just kind of bonding moments between them where he's just rooting for each other. Henry will do something to Barnyard Dog and Foghorn will step in and finish the job. But that is, of course, until
the ending of this.
The ending where they just start actually beating the shit out of each other.
Yeah, this one has an interesting ending. Who wins this short? Well, Henry Chickenhawk wins no matter what. That's one. He's the victor no matter what the outcome. But who wins in between Foghorn and Barnyard Dog? That's an interesting question because it depends on who do you think would win in a one-on-one fisticuffs.
Yeah, this ends with Henry unhooks Barnyard Dog, and he starts just like attacking Foghorn. Like no gags, no like weapons. He's just like punching him, and Foghorn like starts like punching him back like really hard, and they're just like full on brawling. And Henry says like, "I'll fricassee the loser," and that's how it ends. It's hard to say. I feel like I get the impression that Barnyard Dog is supposed to be stronger than Foghorn.
I get the sense they're on the same level of violence, but Barnyard Dog is more vicious.
Barnyard Dog has a lot of pent-up anger towards Foghorn, whereas I feel like Foghorn's like, it doesn't like Barnyard Dog, but he's a lot more like carefree, like of a personality. Like he sings half the time when he's walking around. He doesn't really, he's not bothered too much. He might hold a grudge, but he's not gonna like stew in it, like the way that Barnyard Dog, who's tethered to his doghouse most of the day, just sits there and thinks about how much he'd love to just like maul a Foghorn to death.
Right. So I think if you had to like force me to answer who won that brawl at the end, I think Barnyard Dog probably won.
I'm gonna go on. I'll be on Foghorn's side then, because that's my guy right there.
Okay.
I gotta root for him, no matter what a dumbass he is.
I think you're wrong because he's a stupid meek chicken that Barnyard Dog could destroy if given the power.
Wow. Okay. He's a Chad. Foghorn Leghorn's a Chad. Look how big he is.
Are you like Foghorn Leghorn's PR person right now, trying to like make him look good? Like, guys, he's a Chad. Guys, come on, he's such a Chad. He's got the big chin and the strut. He's such a Chad. He gets beaten by this baby chicken in every short.
I'm gonna make one of those like the Virgin versus the Chad memes about Barnyard Dog and Foghorn Leghorn, and then you'll see.
All right, I guess I'll see.
But that one's up for grabs. I at least say that Henry did get a delicious meal by the end.
Oh, he did.
Whatever it was.
All right, our final short here. We're back to Bugs Bunny. Bless him.
Thank God.
Can you say the title of this one so people don't know how white I am?
What do you mean?
Is it Rabbit of Seville?
Yeah.
I got it right? Okay. I'm so bad at words. I have the great combination of being autistic and white. So words are awful to me. So this one's kind of interesting because I think at the start we're kind of seeing Elmer have the upper hand. Like he's like, Bugs is scary of him. Like he's running in fear.
Yeah, he's like panting.
But that kind of makes the rest of the short interesting because Elmer Fudd, I think in this one gets his ass handed to him harder than any other short ever.
Yeah, and with like very minimal effort on Bugs Bunny's part.
Elmer does not fight back at all during this, like once it starts.
Yeah, so they run into like an opera house where they're performing like this like little barbershop opera show. And it's a really fun short because it's mostly just set to music. There's not a lot of dialogue. And Bugs, starts, puts on the barber outfit. He starts, just fucking with him. Absolutely fucking with Elmer. I think Elmer has a little stage fright at the beginning because he kind of runs on and then he kind of sheepishly tries to leave. Like he's not even wanting to get Bugs anymore. He just kind of wants to go.
Yeah, he realizes where he is pretty fast.
Yeah, and Bugs is, he shaves him, he slaps his head, he massages him, he chases him around with a cannon. It's lots of fun. I just think that Bugs just likes to play in the space, right?
Yeah, Bugs. We've mentioned this before. Bugs adapts to his surroundings so well. Bugs knows where he is. He'll formulate like what he wants to do in that location immediately.
Oh yeah. So I feel like there's not much to add in terms of like power stuff, but I do want to talk about Bugs getting married to Elmer Fudd.
Okay, I was going to say about that too. There's something interesting here. At the start of the short, Bugs, as usual, dresses as a sexy lady, and Elmer falls for it. But then when he sees the tail, he gets angry, implying that he doesn't want to fuck a rabbit. But later in the short, Bugs Bunny, just as himself, not in disguise, proposes to Elmer Fudd, and he goes for it.
Yeah, Elmer, gets really excited and then shows back up in a wedding dress, which I think is beautiful on him.
Oh, he rocks it.
And Bugs gets in his little tux and, they get married and Bugs, carries him over the mantelpiece. Mantelpiece? over the mantle. Let me say that again.
Okay.
What was it? But the mantle! And then he drops him like 50 feet into a cake.
Yeah.
Which I can only imagine killed Elmer instantly upon impact.
But there's something to say here about Elmer Fudd's attraction to Bugs Bunny.
It's there. It's undeniable, actually.
Yeah, there's something up here. The fact that he's not interested into Lady Bunny, but is into like regular Bugs Bunny, that's something I gotta sit down and think about for like a week.
So, like, Elmer is not a furry, but he does have a strong connection to Bugs Bunny.
Right.
Maybe emotions just run really high in his, like, opinion of Bugs Bunny, right? Like, every time he thinks about Bugs Bunny, he just gets, like, over-emotional in one way or the other, and his mind kind of, like, goes all over the place. So seeing Bugs, usually an antagonistic force, get down on one knee and give him a big shiny ring as, like, a present. And this is, like, after he, like, gives him, like, flowers and stuff, too. Maybe it just kind of, like, triggered something in his brain where he was just like, I am the happiest I've ever been in my life right now in this moment.
I agree. You said there's no powers to talk about this. I disagree. Bugs Bunny can control razors.
Yeah, I think I wrote can control objects with music in this one. Yeah, he like plays a little like flute or something, and the razor comes out like a snake and tries to attack Elmer, which is, you know, that's a flex, Bugs. That's a new one. I didn't think you had in you.
Yeah,
your kit there.
That's a new power he's got.
So do you think Bugs could seduce any man he wanted?
Oh, that's not even a question. Yes.
Okay, because he does dress up like a sexy woman, and it's effortless. It's beauty. It's grace. He looks fantastic. Is this something that only affects, you know, the people he tends to go against, or could he really just like go up to any man he wanted and just, you know, get it?
I think if Bugs Bunny walked into President Joe Biden's office with something he wanted, and he was just like a sexy secretary, he goes, "Oh, Dak,
oh my God,
can't
no!
you let me have the nuclear missiles?" I think you would get them.
You think old Joe would hand him over?
I think old hot and bothered Joe would hand it over.
No, I'm ending it this now. Bugs won. Bugs won the game.
Bugs won this short. You want to look at some YouTube comments?
Yes.
All right. From Plurp Plurf. If every Looney Tune ran towards a wall with a tunnel painted on it, who would go through and who would smash against it? As a bonus, who would then get hit by a truck traveling out of the tunnel? Well, Elmer Fudd, for sure, would be the one who runs into the tunnel, gets smashed, and then the truck runs over him.
I think so, too. I think we could safely assume that, like, Bugs would make it through. Daffy would probably make it through because it'd be funny.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be something, like, crazy. He could make it through. Roadrunner, we've already established, can make it through.
Porky would slam up against, like, the wall and be like, "Oh, what's this?" But he wouldn't get hit by the truck. He'd just be confused.
Yeah. Yeah, he just kind of, like, be confused and baffled by it, and especially if he was trying to chase, like, Daffy through it. Like, Daffy would, like, make crazy noises and go through it, and then Porky would be like, what the fuck? Why can't I go through?
I think Foghorn Leghorn would slam into the wall, and then Henry Chickenhawk would walk out of the cave.
Instead of a truck, it'd be Henry Chickenhawk. Oh, God, yeah, he would. He would come after him. I think it'd be funny if, like, Barnyard Dog was chasing Foghorn, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Foghorn did, like, the wall trick to him. But then, like, it didn't work for Foghorn for some reason, but it worked for Barnyard Dog.
Yeah, he goes... Barnyard Dog goes to the tunnel, but Foghorn cannot. This is from Sleepy Nook, someone I might have heard of. Which Looney Tune you can drip in milk, suck milk out of, and slam on the wall until they make a loud thud?
I don't even know what to say.
Tweety Bird.
I don't want to do that to any of them.
No, Tweety Bird.
No, I don't want to suck milk out of Tweety Bird.
I'm gonna get like a vacuum to suck the milk out of him. I don't have to do it myself.
Okay, and so then you just like slam him around.
Yeah, I just want to dip that little freaking milk and then slam against the wall.
Okay, yeah, I think that would be a good size too. I think that character.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good. That's a good, really good question.
Really good question with some really awesome answers.
Well, it looks like we're about done.
Yeah.
Phew, what a time we've spent with our good friends Wile E. Coyote, Roadrunner, Tweety Bird.
Get rid of Tweety Bird from
Sylvester.
the good friends list. You can say
sorry.
it. Yeah.
Redacted.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I guess we'll see y'all later. That's all, folks. Bye-bye.
Bye.